So, the death penalty in the world is used almost for the crime of murder, and people commit crimes, some pickpocket, some vandalism, and some murder. But the question is, should all crimes considered equally, or should they separate those crimes based on how they committed and deserve? So before getting to the topic, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Vishal, and I'm glad to be standing right here and present my topic to all of you guys, which is the death penalty should be used as a punishment for the worst crime. So let's get into it. As we can see now in today's society, we have rules, and on the other hand, we have crimes. Therefore, our world is overpopulated, and people are starving, and some living in poverty. In a worst case scenario, they go and do bad stuff to get what they want, like killing, stealing, or kidnapping. So we must do something to actuate it. In the next part, I'm going to talk about three main points. The first paragraph, I will list the reasons and some examples why death penalty should be used as a punishment. And next, I intend to give some of my reasons to back up my points and few wrong ideas from people about the topic. And lastly, I will go through a sum up and hope that death penalty would really work in our and the next generation to prevent and warn people not to commit crimes. Without any further things to do, let's get into the topic. Moving on to the first reason to support my topic that death penalty should be used as a punishment is they're just a waste of resources. Why keeping them alive and let them live in the jail comfortably with providing them food, health care, and just to kill them off from earth and start using money to build our society and develop the resources? For heavy crimes, it's better to get rid of those criminals who commit worse. It is better to prevent and avoid it. A lot of things happen because of those criminals. They've killed people, they've raped children, committed acts of terrorism, and they are too dangerous to be kept alive. Instead, why don't we just get rid of those people and clean up the place of the prisons and use that money to feed the poverty from over the world? So this concludes my first reason. Turning to the second reason is the ultimate warning. And if the criminals know that they will be put to death for committing crimes, then of course many of them will be much less to act if they get caught. Due to that, murder still happens very often, so some criminals will be in less action. Some have stated that prison is worse than death. For example, an American man named Zacharias Mosasoy was close to receive a death penalty, instead was sentenced to prison. Ever since that day, he has spent one day in a small cell and 1 hour of exercising every single day. It is also a communication with the guards, but they have been trained to say nothing to the prisoner. However, depending on the crime, some will be killed and suicide in the prison due to the difficulty in the cage. And this includes my backup points. And now I'm going to state some of people's ideas about not giving the death penalty to the criminal, and I will give proofs and show that why it's wrong. So the first thing that they said is only poor quality defenses may lead to death. So in this point, that why it is wrong is because we don't have poor defenses. Actually, as we all can see now, our development of the country is getting rise up, and we have already set up the plans, set up law, and over that we also strengthen the security in the country in order to stabilize and remain peace, which means we don't have low defenses. Instead, we're trying to strengthen the law to create awareness for our citizens. The second thing they said is it is cruel to die like that. To be more clear, that's what death penalty are for. We take one person out and show it how cruel to die in this way, which mean other criminals will be in less action due to see how cruel and unusual to die that way. So this conclude my rebuttal points. So let me briefly summarize what we've looked at. First, I've talked about the reasons and list out some examples to put it as a punishment. And the next paragraph, I've list out some few wrong ideas from people who disagree not giving a death penalty to them. And lastly, the one idea that we, the people, should do is to start activating and deal with criminals by giving death penalty. So I've reached the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.